بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Amma ba'd. Before I start today, I've been asked by Brother Tahir to make an announcement regarding today. There is a couple of giveaways, some books, because this week is the book fair week. And in regards to tonight, there are some books which will be given away. So please, to enter your name, SMS your full name to the following number, 0420 850 449. I say that again, 0420 850 449 if you want to get a chance of getting your hand on some books relating to Ijaz al-Quran or the miracles of the Quran. And at the end of the lecture, inshallah, there will be announcement of who the lucky people will be, inshallah. So, today's talk is about the earth, the dunya, al-ard. And there is actually a lot to cover. I don't think the two sessions, even this session and the one coming up, will be enough to cover the content of this. It's a really amazing content. So given that we are between Maghrib and Isha, hopefully I can maybe extend time a bit and hopefully no one will be upset. So there's a bit to cover, so bear with me. So the dunya, the earth, where did it all start? We started a few sessions back where we said when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the heavens and the earth to come forth, either willingly or by force. Remember we mentioned that, and they said we come willingly. And that's where the process started, that's where the khalq started. And the heavens were created and the earth came from underneath the water. And we said that Mecca was the first land to appear. But the story did not end there. Until now, there is the process still happening. Today we'll be covering a lot of these details. So what I want you to do, just as a disclaimer, you'll be hearing a lot of information today. Some of it will be, you've heard it before, and some of it will be challenging. So put your previously conceived knowledge of learnt knowledge in one side, but what you'll hear today is going to challenge you a bit, but it's going to be very interesting and it'll be food for thought, as they say. I'll start with the ayah from Surah Fussilat. سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that this is the truth. In this ayah there are a few words, key words. We will show them. We will see. So we will see some signs. So we don't need telescopes, we don't need satellites, we will see some things that Allah has given us. And we will see them in the horizons, fil afaq. These are, we mentioned it before, so the horizon is a distant thing that we strive to reach. And as we know, if you've ever been to the ocean, to the beach, you'll see the horizon where the sky meets the water. There is something very, very, very beautiful in that. Something very beautiful in that. And Allah is asking us to look at the afaq and look at the horizon. What is it? It's the perfect straight line. Perfectly straight. So if you hold the ruler and you move it across the horizon, it'll be perfect everywhere. This is very, very important. What does it tell us? We're seeing this, so we're not seeing something that's fake. We are seeing something that's perfectly straight. And it's important to believe in what we see, because if you're listening to what NASA is saying, NASA will lead us to the wrong path. NASA, just to say in the beginning, they are Scientologists. Their deen, their religion is science. They do not believe in any creator. What they publish in their books is their own content. They create content. So for us to take information from this source is very dangerous. We have to filter out. There is some truths and there are many falses. So we have to be aware of what we're reading, because for them it's a movement. It's a religion. It's a non-God movement. So we have to be aware of the information that we absorb. So what we're seeing in the horizon is perfectly straight, and that means the earth is very big. This is the introduction of some of the concepts that you'll be hearing. For example, is the earth flat? Is the earth spherical? Is the earth moving? Is the earth still? There's a lot of questions that come, and it's all valid to ask these questions because the Quran gives us answers to everything. We don't need to look past the Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly said these things. And it's very important to understand, the Quran is not a book of science. It's not a book to show us the atoms and show us the inner workings. The Quran, the objective is different. Where we take some science, Allah uses some of these scientific facts and knowledge in the Quran just to show us that this book is of divine origin, and what Allah says in the Quran has scientific basis, which we are required to actually absorb and are required to actually understand. However, we learn from the Isra and Mi'raj, when our beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ left this world and went to Allah, he saw some amazing things. And what does Allah say about this journey in Surah An-Najm? He says, his eye did not blur, nor did it stray. He certainly saw of the greatest signs of his Lord. ما زاغ البصر وما طغى لقد رأى من آيات ربه الكبرى. He saw some amazing things. So the question is, did he see the earth? Did he see the earth? I'm sure he did. Because in fact, the earth is so big, so huge, humans have not been able to see the full earth. Whatever you see online from NASA in terms of image of the earth, showing you the earth is a beautiful round, it's an assumption. Mankind has not been able to go high enough to actually see the earth. So it's all CGI, all graphics, image generated. All we see is we see the sun, it's circular. We see the moon, it's circular. We see the stars, it's circular. So we're assuming the earth is also circular, which has some merit, it's possible, but we don't have physical evidence that the earth is actually spherical. As far as we're concerned, from the ayat from the Quran, there's a lot of ayat that talk about the earth being flattened, being spread out for our purposes. So we need to understand the context of where we're living. Allah wants us to understand where we are living and what is the nature. And I'm going to give you some very, very focused information. I want you to focus and concentrate on these points. What does Allah say about the earth in Surah Al-Baqarah? He says, His throne extends over the heavens and the earth. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the nature of the ayat in the Quran, Allah does not compare a big thing with a minute thing. We said last time, the samawat is so huge, it's billions of years of traveling. So why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compare something that's so huge with a speck called the earth, based on the Scientologists, in existence? It doesn't make sense. The earth is much greater, much greater. So let's think, for example, last time we spoke about a star, which was so big that if we were to try to fly over this star, it would take us 1,000 years to circulate it, flying at 1,000 kilometers an hour. Think about that, a star. How do we know the earth is not as big as that? We don't know, because we haven't reached the end of the earth. So for those who tell you we have circulated around the earth, it's impossible. There's no proof that any campaign, any travel, any man has been able to circulate around the earth. We circulate around the flat plane of the earth. Now, I'm not saying the earth is flat like they say. There's a movement called the flat earthers. They come up with some weird strategies saying the earth is a plate floating in space. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that the portion that we live on right now is flat for us. And it doesn't matter how far we go, it's completely flat. Because if you look at the horizon, at the ocean, what do you see? Flat line. If you are in a plane and you're looking at the horizon, what do you see? Flat line. If you go in a satellite, astronauts that live in satellites, what do they see? A flat line. They do not see any curvature. Any curvature that is shown by NASA is all fake. They're using lenses called fisheye lens. Anyone heard of fisheye lens? It's very common. Fisheye lens is designed so that it captures an overall image and it makes it easy for you to understand the bigger picture. But without a flat fisheye lens, the image of the horizon is perfectly straight. And not only that, it doesn't matter how far up you go, the horizon rises to that level, which is why Allah says He will show us the signs. He will show us the signs in these afaq. So it doesn't matter how high you go, you will not see beyond the earth. Why? Because the earth is so big. So how big is the earth? Allahu A'lam, it is huge, because we do not have the ability to actually leave this landmass that we call earth. We can't. Allah says in the Quran, He challenged us. يا معشر الجن والإنس إن استطعتم أن تنفذوا من أقطار السماوات والأرض فانفذوا. So if you are able to leave this earth, leave. However, we won't be able to. Allah says in the next ayah following, we won't be able to. It's so big. Even to fly to Europe, the plane has to stop and refuel. Why? Because it's actually a huge distance. So imagine flying for a month in a plane. Can we do it? What happens if we fly for a month and then there's no fuel? How do we refuel? These are important questions that will force us to ponder about the earth that we're living on. How big is it? And how does it look like? How does the earth look like? That's a very natural or logical question to ask. If you look at the United Nations map, their logo, what do you see? It's a blue flag, and it has a picture of some olive branches, and it has a picture of the earth flat with circles around it. Did anyone think why? Why do they? Why? There's a message there. It's a hidden message. They're telling us something which we have to pay attention to. The landmass that we live on is in a certain direction, in a certain point on Earth, and beyond that, there are other things. And how do we know that? Because there's been explorations past you've got the Antarctic and you've got the North Pole. So if you're looking at the map of the Earth, a flat map, and by the way, who uses a flat map? No one, because we're always told that the map of the world is based on a global map. However, you'll be interested to know that pilots, when they get their license, they have to draw their flight path based on a flat map of the Earth. That's what they do. That's what they're told. They don't draw it on a spherical map. And something else, for military purposes, it's written. You can actually go and search it on military sites and how they calculate angles of trajectory angles of missiles. They say clearly all calculations is based on a flat Earth. So they tell us it's a flat Earth. They're using flat Earth whenever they're broadcasting to the world. They've shown us it's spherical. This is interesting. You have to understand what's going on here. Even inside the plane, when you're looking at the image of the plane flying over Earth, what do they show you? They show you it's curved. The plane is flying like that. When in fact the plane is actually flying in a straight path. Why? The Earth is huge. I'm not saying the Earth is flat, but the area that we're living on is actually perfectly flat. It could be flat in terms of a bigger scheme planet. Imagine we live on a planet which takes 1,000 years to circulate around it. So we live in an area that is very small, and what we know for a fact is that Muslim scholars from centuries ago, they were obsessed about drawing a map of the Earth. They had no concept of a global Earth. They would travel the land and they would draw on a piece of paper. And so some Arab scholars have come up with maps that are amazing, that look like nothing like the maps that we see now, but they are still being used because they're very, very accurate. And something you'll hear now, it's absolutely amazing. So how does the real map of the Earth look like? How is that land, Al-Ard, how is it planned out? How did Allah plan it out? Well, the answer to that question is right in front of our face. When we look at a full moon, we see black spots and we see white spots. Have we ever thought, what is this black spot? What is this black part? And what it is, if you go back to what we said earlier, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala split the heavens and the earth, and from that He created everything and created the moon. And the moon was joined to the earth. And this is based on scientific facts. There's actually evidence that the moon was joined to earth and it's separated by some command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what we're seeing on the moon is a map of the land that's on earth. So the moon does not lie. The map, and there is scientific evidence of that. You have the scientists that come from NASA will reject that, but there are independent scientists who have done amazing work that will tell you that there is a lot of signs that the map on the moon reflects the land that we live on. And that is amazing. It conforms to what Allah is telling us in the Quran. It's amazing. But on this point of land and how big is it? There is a American scientist / pilot. He was in 1967, I believe. He was asked to fly in a plane and go past the Antarctica for 2-3 hours. So as much as fuel than he had in the plane, he flew beyond the Antarctica for 3 hours, and he reported seeing land which was never ever documented, never, and land which had no ice. And there were animals he had not seen before. He described, and there's videos online on YouTube, you can actually watch it. And he says that he was actually told to keep quiet and not divulge this information. Why? Why is there a need to keep mankind in the dark? The land, the creation is Allah's creation. We should know. We should actually be exploring this and finding out what is going on. This is really exciting information. So we talk about Earth and how big is Earth, but there's something even more amazing right from the Quran, from Surah At-Talaq. Allah says, Allah الذي خلق سبع سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن. Listen to that. Allah who has created 7 heavens and of the earth the likes of them. So 7 earths. So it's not one earth, there are 7 by Allah's words. وَمِنَ الْأَرْضِ مِثْلَهُنْ. And when the Sahaba heard this, they got really excited. They couldn't believe in what is there another earth? Where is it? Can we reach them? Is there people there? There's all these questions that start coming up. And the Prophet ﷺ answered these questions, and he told them that there are certain things that you're not meant to ask about, and especially on these points. If he was to divulge what is out there, there's a hadith which says, I fear that you will actually become disbelievers, because that's how amazing this information is. And one of the hadiths he mentioned, he said, there are 7 earths, other earths like this, and they have an Adam like your Adam, alayhi salam, and they have a Musa like your Musa, and they have a Nuh like your Nuh. SubhanAllah, this is amazing. So, is there other creations? Yes, there is. But are they like humans? Absolutely not, because we are told that Adam is the best of creations, and we are descendants of Adam. But however, what are these other creations? Are they aliens? Very possible, because there's an ayah in the Quran which talks about this, and this is what really drives the point home. In Surah Ash-Shura, Allah says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَثَّ فِيهِمَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ وَهُوَ عَلَى جَمْعِهِمْ إِذْ يَشَاءُ قَدِيرٌ. This is a breathtaking ayah. Allah saying there is a dabba, there are creations that they're probably not humans, but they exist. And Allah says He is able to join us and gather us with them if He wants. And of His signs is the creation of the heavens and the earth and living creatures that He has spread out in them. And He has the power to bring them together if He wills. SubhanAllah. So we live on an amazing planet that the West and the science, the NASA is trying to make like it's a little dust, a speck of dust in the universe. It's not. The Earth is actually way more larger than that. And on this point, I want to say, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, He says He says He is not shy to use the mosquito as an example. And not only that, He's not shy to use what is living on the back of a mosquito. So if there's a creation that Allah created on the back of a mosquito, that Allah is saying, I'm not shy to tell you about this. So imagine the earth. The earth is way more grander than we are told. It's amazing. It's amazing. So we've sort of said that the earth is for our purposes spread out, but there are ayat in the Quran which talk about this nature of being spread out. For example, in Surah Taha, He says, it is He who made the earth for you a cradle and caused pathways so that you run through it. And in Surah Al-Dhariyat, He says, and the earth we have spread out and made excellent. And how excellent do we prepare things? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, He's telling you, it's an excellent creator, mashallah. And in Surah Nuh, He's saying, and Allah has made the earth for you a wide expanse that you may traverse open ways thereof. In Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah says, He made for you the earth a bed spread out. In Surah Al-Nazi'at, Allah says, and the earth along with it, He spread forth. So all these ayat talk about the earth being spread out so that it serves a function that we need. Then we need to base on. But the next question is does the earth move? Does the earth move? We know, we're told that from previous ayat, كُلٌّ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. So everything is swimming in space. The moon, the sun, the stars swimming. What about the earth? The earth in the Quran is actually not mentioned to be moving. It's actually mentioned to be on the opposite, to be steady. And Allah says He created mountains like pegs in the earth, and we'll come to that. It says in Surah An-Nahl, وَأَلْقَ فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ. And He has affixed into the earth mountains standing firm, lest should it shake with you, and rivers and roads for you to be guided by. So it's the indication of earth is flat, is perfectly still, and He's created mountains to stabilize it. And think about this: on a beautiful calm day, you go to Cherry Lake, and you look at the water, super smooth. The water is not moving at all. There's no wind and the water is not moving. If the earth, based on the scientists, they say the earth is moving at hundreds of kilometers per hour. Well, if it was moving, wouldn't the water be always shaking? Subhanallah. And if you're in a plane and you're served a cup of water and you put the water on the table, you look at it, the water doesn't even move. And this is a plane and moving in earth that supposedly is moving so fast. Wouldn't the water be shaking? It doesn't even shake inside the plane. So the earth is Allah's work is the best of examples. If mankind was able to create a plane that moves in the air and not shake, well, the earth is not moving at all. SubhanAllah, this is an amazing creation that Allah has created for us to ponder about. And we see from different ayat that the creation, now we're moving into the creation of the mountains, so I'll probably end here. The mountains which Allah created to stabilize the earth serve many functions. One of the functions is to stabilize the earth, and one of the other functions, which we'll discuss in another session, inshallah, is to tell us direction, where what's up from what's down. Because sometimes a mountain can be so large we don't know where it starts, when it ends. But if we look at the moving rivers, we can tell the river moving. It means it's moving towards downhill. So this is a major creation that Allah has mentioned in the Quran that we need to sort of ponder about. I think I've overwhelmed this today, inshallah. So, barakallahu bikum, jazakumullah khairan. I'll leave it till next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If there's any questions, please go forth.
You believe in aliens?
In aliens? Well, based on Allah's ayat, it's possible that there are an alien that's called the Dabba, and they could exist, and they could have their own ways of communicating, and we can deny aliens, but we can't deny Allah's ayat. So how they are, Allahu A'lam. Because remember, when Allah told the angels, I'm creating a Khalifa in the world, they objected, didn't they? They said, are you going to create some people that are going to kill each other? Well, but before that, who knows what existed on earth, and were they killing each other? It could be aliens, Allahu A'lam. Not saying, so we have to have an open mind. There could be. Allahu A'lam. Okay. Yes, ma'am?
Isn't there a reference somewhere, I'm not sure if it's Quran or Hadith, about the world not being circular, but more like an egg shape? I'm not sure.
Well, ardu dahaha. Yeah, this comes from the word that when Allah was creating the earth, He rolled it out. It's like back in the days from where we come from, our villages, they used to create roofs, and they would roll rocks like a round block to make it flat. So there is an indication to that. And actually, you remind me of a point. There is actually scientific evidence, and there's some scientists say we live on an infinitely flat plane. Infinite. And it's very challenging to think, is it really infinite? When Allah in the Quran compares the creation, He's created the kursi, the size of it, to the heavens and the earth. So the earth can't be small. The earth is huge. It's way bigger than we're told. Way bigger.
If you wanted to learn about the earth, would you go out and look for it, or would you go through books and research?
It's a combination of everything. Right? It's the most of the information. If you want to follow legitimate information, you start with the Muslim scholars who've spent endless hours on talking about these topics, and then you compare it to what the West says, and then you can actually find out where the lying is, where the fabrication is, because they're on a mission to distract us away from the truth. When Allah says this is the truth, what you're seeing is the truth. Any other questions, brothers? I'm glad to answer, inshallah. One more?
For me, anyways.
Okay.
From your opinion, from your studies and your understanding, are you more leaning towards a flat Earth theory or the circular theory?
When you say flat Earth, you're saying, is it a disc in space? I don't believe that. We are flat. We actually, all of us live on. Let's say we live on on an area the size of a 10 cents or a 50 cents, on a globe that's actually the size of Australia. Let's say, the size of Australia as a sphere, and we're living on a 10 cents. We have no ever way of getting anywhere past the boundaries that we know as our own Earth, our own land mass. There are other land masses which is not on the map. So and then maybe one day, inshallah, I'll do an example at like a workshop in here. Maybe turn off the lights and demonstrate how the sun moves over this flat part of the Earth, and you'll see clearly that and Einstein said it. Einstein actually said, for all calculations of E equals mc squared and all these sophisticated formulas, the Earth can be considered flat. Einstein says that. So why would he say that? Because he knows that Earth, where we're living on, is actually flat. That you can travel as much as you want, and you'll never reach an end to say that we reach an end. So it's not flat like a disc, but we are living on a portion of land which is flat completely. Wa'alaykum. So I hope you enjoyed today's session. Inshallah, next time we'll be having some more. Inshallah. So?
We're going to go to the after shit.